it certainly seems like somewhere you guys interpreted the word invade. I said China would move on Taiwan.
Move on Taiwan. Okay.
In the lead up to the 2024 election. I believe that started in October of last year, really culminated when they took control, when the KMT took control of the legislation in January of this year. And since then, we've just seen a continued escalation of military movements and military exercises and increased rhetoric. Like right now, for all intents and purposes, Taiwan is politically locked. It has a president that's pro-separation, and it's got a dominant legislation that's pro-unification, and then it's got all these independent players, and it's a hotbed of Chinese activity. And I'm still sitting there uncertain of if more is coming. Because if I'm in Xi Jinping's shoes right now, watching what's happening in the United States, which is the only benefactor to Taiwan, if I'm watching what's happening in the United States, we're so fucking confused right now that we've got a sitting president who basically can't take action. We have a race between a convicted felon and a district attorney that has never won a vote, and we haven't even had an official DNC to announce the candidate for the Democratic National Party to support through the presidency. Not to mention all the challenges that America has, anyways, economically, politically, whatever else, civilly. So it's such a good time right now for Xi Jinping. He must be looking at this knowing that after November 5th, after the 100 days before the president takes office, is just this window of time where conditions kind of only get worse for them to move on, to take an aggressive action of some sort. They're in the perfect window right now to basically do something, and we're going to be so landlocked, so head up our ass that we can't even make a decision to take action.
Interesting.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're in a position themselves to take any kind of action, because Xi Jinping has his plate full of all sorts of other shit.
Aren't they sending some sort of like crazy new ships out to the South China Sea, or whatever the sea is right there?
They've been growing their naval capability for a while. Yeah, they've been modernizing it. Now, it's unproven in battle. One of the reasons that the United States is always engaging in conflict all over the world all the time is we're constantly practicing, exercising, training, refining.
We used to love it. We used to love it when the Israelis and the Syrians would engage in dogfights, because it was always, an F-16 or an F-15 or whatever against a MiG, and it was real world testing that we couldn't do.
Yeah. So that we don't know what's going to happen with China, and China's in a fat and happy place right now with regards to international influence, and it doesn't even have to take action. The United States is doing enough dumb fuckery on its own that we're ostracizing ourselves from the developing world, and right now China knows that its future is tied to the developing world.
Freedom! So fresh on. Freedom!